Second. Hey.
Have a letter dated November 14, 2025. Laura Johnson, Clerk of Council, New Orleans City Council, 1300 Perdido Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70112. Dear Madam Clerk, pursuant to my authority in Section 3-1075 of the Home Rule Charter of the City of New Orleans, there will be a special City Council meeting on the following date, Tuesday, December 30th, 2025 at 9 a.m. The meeting will be limited to the discussion and consideration of matters relative to the current financial condition of the city, including without limitation the status of the general fund and any changes to expected revenue or funding, and ordinance number 30,522 and any other matters that may properly come before the council. Please make the necessary arrangements to have these special meetings cablecast live on the Government Access Television channel and tape for recasting in the future. Sincerely, J.P. Morrell, President of the New Orleans City Council. Roll call. Councilmember Morrell. Here. Councilmember Moreno. Councilmember Jeruso.
Here.
Councilmember Harris. Here. Councilmember King. Councilmember Green.
Present.
Councilmember Thomas.
Present.
We have 6 members. We have a quorum.
All right, good morning, everybody. Items 2 and 3 on the agenda will be deferred until January 7th. We do have our standard report from the legislative auditor. I will move to suspend the rules to add this to the agenda. Seconded by Councilmember Harris. Please note Councilmember King is a yay too. 7 yays, no nays. Motion, I will now move to add it to the agenda. Seconded by, this isn't a voting item, Mr. Burnside. We're voting to add this to the, so you want to speak on this because we're voting to add it. Okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Motion to add it to the agenda, seconded by Councilmember Harris. All in favor? Aye. Mr. Burnside would like to speak on this.
Mike Clark, Burnside, 2215 Felicity. So I spoke a week ago on this subject, and it doesn't personally seem to me to have resulted in an outcome that I had hoped for, namely that this report be made public and it be available online for people to see. Now, I've been verbally told that this has happened, but I've not personally seen it occur, and that may be my fault. But I want to emphasize that I did look at least twice, and it would be nice if, I saw it with my own eyes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, we get this report the morning of, and then my understanding is it's added to the agenda afterwards. So we're not holding out on you. We're literally getting it this morning ourselves because the auditor is putting it together at the last minute with the help of his team and the city. Yeah, but it's supposed to be posted. So and if it isn't, then please keep on letting us know because we don't want to make sure it's not available publicly. All right, so we've moved on both of those. Mr. Wagespack, good morning.
Good morning. Mike Wagespack, Louisiana Legislative Auditor. Today, December 30th, 2025, we have our submittal in front of you as in accordance with the State Bond Commission terms and conditions of the approval for the City of New Orleans $125 million revenue notes. So the fund was established, and as of 12:30 today, our preliminary review indicates that the city's request totaling $11,437,270, broken down by $5,865,330 will be put into the Chase payroll card account, and then $5,571,939,000 to reimburse the city's general fund as outlined below for transfer. And the first bullet, we have $5,865,330,000, which is payable, as mentioned, to the Chase payroll account for the purpose of funding employee compensation and related employee and employer payroll taxes for the pay period ending 12/27/2025, and that's Exhibit A. Second bullet, we have $5,571,939,000 payable to the city's general fund account at Chase Bank to reimburse the general fund for fringe benefit payments including but not limited to health insurance, pension contributions, garnishments, etc. And that's for the prior pay period ending 12/20/2025. And again, as we mentioned, the Exhibit A shows the payroll, net earnings, and the related payroll taxes. Exhibit B, the general fund reimbursement for the prior period payments on 2 check runs. And then we have a summary of our overtime for this pay period, which fell under the projected amounts, $967,000. And of course, Exhibit D outlines the gross earnings year-to-date, column of the non-overtime pay, and a column of the overtime pay. The overtime pay through this pay period year-to-date is $50,409,611. Exhibit E is where we're tracking the special funds set up for the revenue anticipation note activity. And after this, if you approve this and after it's drawn from the account, we'll have a balance of $45,729,114 at the end of today. So I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Councilmember Thomas.
Maybe I can prompt some questions. To be consistent, which means being done the same way over time, and trying to be as accurate and consistent as possible. I'm just setting that up because I'm going to ask the same question that I asked before. At our last meeting, I've consistently asked about Mr. Montano and his role and how helpful it would be if he were here to explain how we got into this situation. You agreed that it would be helpful, and at the last meeting, you said you were going to meet with him.
Yes.
Has he shed any light that you can share with us after your meeting with him, if you met with him, on how we got into this position, especially given my questioning of him over a year ago, where he created and answered in opposition to where we are? And is there going to be a report done where he gives us some information so that, especially in the future, whatever happened this time won't be repeated? We don't need the definition of insanity. So is there anything that you can lend from your meeting with him that can be helpful to us, or will it be put into a report so that we can better understand how we got here, especially given his public position that is contrary to where we are now?
We did have a good hour-long lunch meeting where we discussed a lot of details, and some of that which we will be able to provide in a report once we finalize recommendations, things we found, things we see, and suggestions going forward. He was a bit surprised how much things had kind of deteriorated. I guess in a broad sense, apparently from what I've gathered from the conversation, there began a disconnect between he and the finance department sometime around January of this year. So maybe there was a disconnect with information that was being brought or not brought forward. That's all I can really kind of tell you at this time. Maybe you and I, after this meeting, can have a little offline conversation, to maybe fill in some other bullet points. But apparently there just became I don't know which, lack of a better word, but maybe a lack of communication between the CAO and the finance department. So that's kind of the highlight from the sense I've got.
So the highlight from your meeting with him was that the disconnect was between him and the people that he was in charge of.
Yeah, I guess, for lack, yeah.
You have to be allowed to.
Finance falls under CAO, so I guess there was a disconnect.
Well, if you're going to have a job, you might want to read the duties, and if you have a charter, you might want to read the charter, and he operates. The place where he had a disconnect was the place that he was in charge of. So that says a lot. We probably won't hear more about it, but if the CAO's office has a disconnect with the finance department, I'm surprised that we're not even in worse shape than we're in now. And look, I could say a whole lot of other things because, complicit is... Stay tuned. Probably in the coming years, be a whole lot more revealed about this. But just that what you highlighted says a whole lot about the stewardship of the city's finances. And I'm not surprised now, if that was his comment, his highlight comment, Mr. Chairman, I'm not surprised that we're here now, and I'm not surprised by future challenges. What I am surprised of it is that is his response. I'm surprised that we were able to survive it this long. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Green.
Well, which brings up an issue that I'll only take a second. To the people who have asked me, how could the council not know? I think that you just summed it up. I'll leave it at that.
Well, and let's also be honest, there is conflicting information consistently presented too. Which,
Yeah.
Which then
Right.
made it hard to know. So that, I think that was the
Right.
hallmark of what we saw, was that you get conflicting stories about what's happening, and by the way, we allocate, we don't expend.
Right.
And I think that's also something that gets lost in the conversation, is that the administration is responsible for expending ultimately. Mr. Wagsback and team, I wanted to ask you real quickly, the overtime pay is roughly $50 million for this year. Are there any things that you saw since you all came in that have been better practices with the departments that should continue to be implemented in the future?
I think we, Chris, maybe you can opine on that because you've looked at that for us in detail, each pay period. I think some controls and oversight y'all put in place are paying off, and maybe you can kind of share some details on that.
Sure. Chris Province, Legislative Auditor. I think since the controls have been put in place, we've seen a reduction in the overtime spend, even in the current pay periods where you have holidays. I think that we're seeing even the police department was way below what they had estimated. I think that departments will get better at estimating as they are maybe coached through it and continue to do that. I think some training for estimations in regards to overtime is probably a good idea as well. So we have seen a change in the usage of overtime, and I think that comes with oversight.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate it, and I know we all look forward. And then, just so we're clear, this is all overtime roughly through 12/27 to 2025. You can expect that number to go up a little bit with the holidays on today and tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
Just another, if you got a moment of time,
absolutely.
on the FEMA update, which I think is important that a lot of people are asking questions on. I did receive an email, pushed an email to FEMA with the person that was put in contact with by Governor Landry, and she did respond to me, and I'll just simply read it. Hi, Mike. No further updates to share. We will have a final decision letter to you by the 31st, which is tomorrow. So at least we will have some type of decision letter as to where we stand with what projects, they'll be on approved lists going forward and for how long. So I guess stand by. You'll be the first to notify upon receipt.
Councilmember Moreno.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Wagesback, for bringing that up, because on the cancellation list, there are some critical projects. The one I'm mostly concerned about is Municipal Auditorium and the cancellation of the extension for funding there, because we finally are to the point where we can get things going on Municipal Auditorium. So to miss out on the funding that we're owed would be really detrimental to that project. So the push continues. We don't get the final letter until tomorrow. So I just ask that you please help us on that Municipal Auditorium piece. I know that everyone who has any type of potential influence on FEMA has been contacted about this to take Municipal Auditorium off of the cancellation list.
And look, we compiled a list working with the GOSEP and the governor's office, the city, as far as what was critical to extend. That project is listed as critical to extend, so hopefully they'll take that into account. Hopefully we'll find out the details tomorrow.
Wonderful. Thank you all again, and thanks to everybody, both in your office and with all departments.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Councilmember Giarrusso.
Yes.
As far as the matter about the legislative auditor's report
Yes.
not being,
Yes.
if you look at the minutes, because that's where it's going to be.
Right.
There is an area that says suspend the rules to add.
Right.
And the link is there, and if you open up that link, that is where the report is.
Great. Sounds great. All right. Well, we got that rectified. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
Resolution R 25-674 is being withdrawn.
So ordered.
We have substitute resolution R 25-674 by Councilmember Jeruso, approving and ratifying the release of $5,865,330.47 from the City of New Orleans Employee Emergency Payroll Fund to cover the cost of payroll-related expenses for employees of the police and fire departments, as well as certain employees paid weekly for the payroll period beginning December 14, 25 and ending December 27, 2025. The foregoing authorization shall be subject to concurrence by the Louisiana Legislative Auditor in accordance with City Code 70-415.347D. We need to suspend the rules to receive this substitute.
So moved, seconded by Councilmember Morel. Please vote your machines. One more, seven. Okay, 7 yeas, no nays. And then motion, I will move to add it to the agenda, seconded by Councilmember Harris. All in favor? Aye. Hearing 7 yeas, that passed unanimously. Mr. Burnside.
Michael Eric Burnside, 2217 Felicity. So I lied, 2215 Felicity. So it's interesting to hear the explanations. I will have to go search the minutes instead of the agenda. It would be interesting to have the information on the agenda since it was added to the agenda. With regards to Gilbert, it's nice that he talked with Mr. Wagensback. I think that's the first time I've tried to say his name. It was generous of him. I should point out that Norman White was once upon a time head of finance, and he went off to the airport. So I think there's been some disagreement between the CAO's office and the finance department for some extended period of time. With regards to some of the other information, the council not knowing is on the council. The council is a separate and equal branch of government. The council is supposed to put a check and a balance on the administrative. For the council to rely on the administrative for information is itself problematic. I would suggest that the council needs access to brass. The council needs people who have finance understanding, such as CPAs, to look independently of either the finance department or the CAO's office to provide the check and the balance. For instance, we have here a number, $19,604,369.17. If we do some subtraction, we're left with a number of $13,739,038.40. One is left with the assumption that somehow or another the fringe benefits are going to equal $13 million, which of course is absurd on the face of it. But nobody seems to care because the numbers are garbage. Absolute garbage. I have sent you emails to which you have not responded. The number $19,604,369.17 is utter, complete garbage. Thank you.
Thank you. I move to approve Resolution R 25674, seconded by President Morel. Seven yeas, no nays. Yeah, Councilmember Moreno's machine apparently isn't working. Oh, there we go. 7 yeas, no nays. All right, last voting item.
We have Resolution R 25675 is withdrawn.
So ordered.
We have substitute resolution R 25675 by Councilmember Jeruso by request, approving and ratifying the release of $5,571,939.88 from the City of New Orleans Employee Emergency Payroll Fund to cover the payment of the fringe benefits and other payroll-related expenses for the payroll period beginning December 7, 2025 and ended December 20th, 2025. The foregoing authorization shall be subject to concurrence by the Louisiana Legislative Auditor in accordance with City Code 70-415.347. We need to suspend the rules to receive this substitute resolution.
Mr. Burnside?
Clark Burnside, 2215 Felicity. We have a new number here. We have $11,360,025.02. I talked with a young lady a couple weeks ago over there who's employed by the CAO's office in a finance position. She assured me that our discussions of estimating up to differ. According to her estimation, no number above that is possible, but any number below it is. Unfortunately for us today, if we choose to add $6,410,382.45 to $5,571,939.88, we get a number above the number that I was told that the numbers could never go above. The number we got is $11,982,322.33. Again, the mathematics is garbage. Again, the numbers given to us are meaningless. You are playing games to the penny that do not matter and are false. Furthermore, you have a library that has a separate millage, and you are going to be laying off and otherwise not filling vacant positions at the library despite a vacant millage. You have a newspaper article that assures us a certain amount of money is going to be saved. One of the reasons is because we're going to cut 99 employees. Another of the reasons is because 724 employees are going to be furloughed 10% of their time, which is the equivalent of 72.4 full-time equivalencies. And we're supposed to be saving money by vacant positions, but we cannot save money for vacant positions because we have not budgeted money for vacant positions for over 2 years because of the budgeting for outcomes that Gilbert Montano and the budget chairman have both brought before the public. No vacant position has ever been filled with money for 2 years. You cannot save money that you never budgeted in the first place.
All right, a move, actually been moved by Councilmember Morel, seconded by Councilmember Moreno. Yeah. All 7 are yays. Something's wrong. Councilmember Moreno's machine, Councilmember Thomas. Okay, we got 7. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Richardson?
Good morning. How you all doing? I know Mr. Burnside is passionate about our numbers, and I just wanted to explain to everyone what happened this week. Near the end of the year, United Healthcare costs will increase because all of our employees have reached their maximum, and that is when they do surgeries, minor procedures, and all of those things of the like. And so that is why this week it did go over what the estimated maximum is, only because we have increased United Healthcare costs every year at the end of the year.
In other words, Ms. Richardson, people do what they normally do,
Yes.
which is they wait till they hit their deductible.
Yes.
They get their most expensive procedures.
Yes.
And then it causes the health care fringe benefits to rise as a result of that.
Yes.
So that contributes to the rise in number at this point in the year, which is something that would ordinarily happen, but also
Yes.
happens to be something particular for this time of the year.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any ordinances on first read?
We're not finished.
Oh, we have one
We
more?
gotta add it.
Oh, no, I thought we all voted. We just voted on it.
We voted on receiving it.
Oh, okay. Then
We
vote
went to
on,
Mr.
sorry.
Burnside talking.
You got it. Thank you for getting me straight. Councilmember Morel, I move, seconded by Councilmember Morel. Yeah, 7 gets, everybody just say aye. Aye. 7 yeas, no nays, hearing no nays.
And now vote.
Carries unanimously. Yeah, it's,
No, the last vote.
oh, we still
We
need another one?
received it, we added.
Oh, I
Now
thought we
gotta
did all of
vote.
these. Okay, all right, do one more. I move to now vote on it as received and added, seconded by Councilmember Harris. All in favor? Aye. 7 yeas, no nays. Do we have any other business, Madam Clerk?
No, sir.
Then I move to adjourn, seconded by Councilmember Harris. All in favor? Aye. Happy New Year, everybody. Take care.